All right. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. My name is Stephen Michael Kellett. I am a member of the LoCo Council, which is one of the more infamous community bodies here in Ubuntu country because we do the strangest of things. We help govern our local communities. And one of those things that we encourage our local communities to do is we like localization of ISOs. Now, a discussion erupted recently in which, unfortunately, with the realm now seeing UEFI and 64-bit systems coming out, tools traditionally used, like Ubuntu Defaults Builder, are having problems with that. And at my instigation, we're here at Ubuntu Online Summit to talk about this issue. And since we're here to talk about this, we're going to discuss hopefully at least a plan of action to see what it will take to get us to move forward. Because localizing images in an era in which 32-bit is going away, we're going to have signed kernels, and UEFI is only growing. We got to do it. That's the way forward. How we do that is going to be very important. Now, to introduce folks, we've got Rudy here from Ubuntu France, and we've also got Timo Jairinki from Finland, and Daniel Holbach from Canonical Community Team. Now, Timo, I thank you very much for attending. You do happen to be the author of some scripts that Ubuntu Finland uses to adapt ISO images for release. Can you tell us a little bit about them and how they're used in contrast to, say, Ubuntu Defaults Builder, if you can?
Yeah, so we offer as the default image still the official image, but we basically have an informational text below it that if you need the full localization immediately available on the live CD, or if you are installing to your internet less computer, please download the Finnish remix. So I started the script in 2007 or something when we released our first Finnish remix, and that was basically based on a wiki page in wiki.ubuntu.com. And since then, I at some time started doing that only for LTS releases, but I also updated the image for each point release. And nowadays, there have been all kinds of bugs in there that have only surfaced later. That's one of the reasons the default download offering has been the official image, even though the language is English by default. But nowadays, it seems it's about correctly done. So it's whenever you do stuff, it's good to refer how, for example, that Finnish remix script is doing the live CD customization, because there are all kinds of errors people can do, and the wiki page offered wrong information for a long time, which resulted actually in losing network connection when people now started upgrading to 1404. I managed to get that fixed before in the upgrade, before the official upgrade offering started, but it was a close call of getting into trouble with a lot of computers. Anyway, so it takes the official ISO image, unpacks it, right, and does the customization inside the unpacked root FS, and then it packs it up together to a CD image. So, and apparently now that it got tested just a few days ago, it seems to be working similar to the official image, so that the UEFI support is still there and so on, which is good news, because I was worried when I heard that maybe again something in the process makes it less good than the official image.
Now, Timo, a big question is your script only safe to use on mainline Ubuntu, or can it be used on any of the flavors such as Kubuntu, Xubuntu, Lubuntu, GNOME, Edubuntu, etc.?
I haven't tried, but I would guess the same process works, because as far as I know, the same process is used to create those ISO images. So if you give, it's not actually a script, it's a thing of lines you have to copy paste. It's not supposed to be executed as is, but it displays that in the comment text. So if you give it basically a Kubuntu image, it should work similar, because I don't at least know of any differences that would cause trouble.
All right. So we have that out there. So we have that as a tool. How much of that is based upon Ubuntu customization? Pardon me, Ubuntu customization kit (UCK)?
None of it, because it was like the wiki page I originally used like 7 years ago. Back then there weren't any kits available. So because I had something that worked, I just kept refining it. So it's probably the stupid and simple way to create the customizations. And what I do only in there is practically removing and adding packages and setting the default line limits. You probably could do all kinds of stuff in there, actually probably everything you want. But of course it's a little bit technical, because you are actually working inside the rootfs C who wrote it in, so it's like low-level stuff compared to the kits.
All right, so it's a lot of low-level surgery.
Yeah,
right.
It's like exact informations are in that script, so you just copy-paste the lines and change the parameters, and it works. But if you want to do anything extra, you need to actually understand what you are doing in there.
All right, so that will possibly take some additional documentation.
Yeah, there is some Finnish in there too, so maybe some translation too.
All right, now we're going to turn our attention to Rudy. You had a brief presentation that you were going to make. If you could go ahead and unmute yourself, which, okay. There we go.
So, hi everyone. So, I'm not the technical guy from the French LoCo team. They are supposed to come, so they will replace me if they come. So we used to build an ISO for years, where we try to burn a lot of DVD for to provide materials for install party, and to provide a download link to have the ISO where we can boot in French on the live session, and where we have all the French package already downloaded, and where in Firefox we can have our custom bookmarks for our documentation and forum. So it used to work, but it doesn't work with the UEFI and all the things I'm not really aware of. Maybe you boy know a little bit about this. If you think you can provide more information.
Yes, it's not working quite well with UEFI and Secure Boot, or with the legacy boot. We have one or another, but not both at the same time, actually. And we are trying to fix that.
And is this a bug that is felt somewhere, or is this where would this need to be fixed?
I think we got someone in the IRC channel that is technical.
Okay, one thing I will state while we're watching everything is that I'm also trying to jump ahead with some of the other issues, such as we are looking at multi-boot. We had a collateral session about dropping 32-bit support, so I am, if you see me disappearing off camera, I'm trying to check on that information as a collateral issue first. So from there, now Rudy, Philippe, you did say that you did have a bug. Were you using live build or Ubuntu defaults builder to make your customization build? Is there an actual meta package in the archive for Ubuntu France that you were using to do this, or were you using one that was built locally?
I can't remember where the script come from, but yes, we have a script. I can't remember where this script come from, but yes, we have a customized script to build the ISO. I think Morphic can provide more information. He can't join the Hangout, but maybe he can explain on IRC.
All right. We'll get back to IRC in just a moment here. What I'm going to do is I wanted to screen share briefly. So we're going to go with this. One of the packages that's very important to utilize is Ubuntu Defaults Builder. As you can see from packages.ubuntu.com, Ubuntu Defaults Builder, the latest version is in Vivid. I may work on trying to get this backported to Trusty and Utopic, but what this allows is you can use a variety of meta packages that there's a template that comes with it that you can build your own customized version of. You can build your own customized version of what you need to go forward. Now, with that, I do believe this was a predecessor for building Kindlin, that we have a Chinese defaults package that's in the archive in Universe that was accepted to do this. Basically, Ubuntu Defaults Builder is a wrapper to Debian's Live Builder, and it's maintained by core developers. Originally, Martin Pitt was one of the original developers for it. So let's get out of screen share there. All right, and we're out. So that's one of the packages that we do need to look at. To the best of my knowledge, its ability to support building signed images is limited. We would need to track down Colin Watson, who during the 1410 cycle had to assist Kubuntu with their building of their Plasma 5 tech preview for signed images, because the Debian Live build didn't do it the way it should have, because Debian doesn't have UEFI support native on their side yet. It's supposed to land for Jesse, but it's not there yet. So we had to do some special sauce, and I don't think we have it documented anywhere. So from there, say we're already 16 minutes in. We've talked a little bit about the issue. We do see that we do have one official package. We have a bunch of unofficial solutions that have come about within our community. That creates some issues because we want to make sure that we can find a way to do this. Now, looking at the discussion that happened elsewhere, if I can actually get it to load, there was discussion of dropping 32-bit overall, but we do not have what looks like consensus on that. So from there, to go back to our Etherpad, and I do encourage everyone to please take notes. Daniel, can you bring us up to speed a little bit with what's coming up in the IRC channel while I try to act some notes? If you could, please.
I was just trying to find out if there's issues which were mentioned before, if we have bug reports for them, or where those issues would need to be fixed. It looks like what Timo has been doing has been working well for the Finnish team. Do you have any idea why the French team ran into issues, or other processes you use for building the ISOs completely separate, completely different?
Yeah, so my way is completely different because I don't actually build image, but I unpack the official image and repack it. And by luck, it seems that that way happens to preserve all the necessary bits and functionality for booting.
Rudy or Yoboy, would this also work for you, or do you need to make more changes for the French image?
I really don't know. We do a lot of change, but it's more the bookmarks and the radio stations, the preselection of the language on the start of the live session, and we try also to have a grab in French, but it's more like a bonus. I'm not following the project for the French image, so I can't really answer more than that.
Thanks, Boy, anyway, for testing the Finnish remix and finding out that it happens to work, because I didn't have any suitable test machine, and I was a bit worried. So I think that my approach can be described as an ugly hack that works. I have a long, fine history with those kind of solutions, but it's not really a suitable long-term solution for everyone.
From the QA side of things, the way this would function most safely is the preferred course is we want to go Ubuntu default builder. As far as I understand things, we may need to get input from foundations on that, and we may need to get balloons involved. Because if we use Ubuntu defaults builder and we build a localization package, and it can exist in a PPA, is I do that. I have a defaults package I use, and it's explicitly marked, unless you're me, don't use it, don't touch it. Because I change bookmarks, I can change radio stations, and I have an amazing package load that no one in their right mind needs except me. But that way we can stay with the main quality assurance that's happening upstream, per se, if we define our main quality assurance testing for all our images as upstream to the localized images. We can stay with that, and then you can use defaults image, which is part of defaults builder package, to then create the image you need. So if we have an ugly hack, we need to consider that for testing purposes, but we
Maybe
would also... Go ahead.
No, I just thought that maybe it would help to find out from the individual locos what kind of changes they need for their language or loco specific ISOs, and basically what the best practices are. Because to me it sounds like a lot of teams are probably doing the same thing, like adding a couple of bookmarks, changing the default language, maybe installing a couple of different packages as well. So maybe that would help. And also, I know that remastering or changing ISOs can get you into trouble very easily. So maybe that would help to fix some of the issues, because I know that a lot of tools are out there to do this, and some are probably broken.
Yeah. Well, I do think one issue we're going to have to address is how many times have we reinvented the wheel on this? France has a script. From the channel, I see that Japan has a script. We have Timo's script in Finland. How many times have we, in fact, reinvented the wheel? And can we come to a common feature set?
Maybe the local council could help with finding out from the different locos which tools locos use and what specific features they would need, and maybe that would help also to have a little bit of documentation, like how teams go about building their ISOs.
Yeah, because defaults builder doesn't have the best of documentation from my view. I learned how to use it via trial, error, and blowing up things in a PPA over and over and over, and making images that don't work. So from there, Martin, go ahead.
Could I note down an action item for the local council, maybe to have some kind of quick survey, or at least start a discussion to see what the individual teams are using and which features they need?
Sure, as long as a canonical community team helps us track down engineers that are actually working on defaults builder.
I think that should help a lot to find out which tools are used and where a common need is for bug fixes or new features. I think
Yeah.
that's going to increase the chances of getting things fixed.
Yeah. So
Does this generally help you, Rudy and your boy? I'm not an expert when it comes to the specific UEFI problems you're facing with the tools you're using. I'm just trying to think of a way how we can get something
and
out of this session.
I know the release process in general from participation on Ubuntu teams, so Timo, feel free to jump in too. What will make this better for you? Now's the time.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I'm fine with the current process. The problem, of course, with all these scripts and people who have been creating those is that you need them like perhaps once every half year or once every 2 years. So then people forget about it for the meanwhile time. So maybe that's one of the reasons we haven't like before come up with one solution. Also, the needs seem to differ a bit. So I think like my needs are from the lesser point or lesser end of the spectrum because I only install language packages and set default language. But for example, the French team wants to customize bookmarks and so on, so they need a bit more. So, but yes, documenting the official way the image is created is probably the most important part because the information on the wiki, for example, there are a lot of wiki pages and most of them are up to date. But at the moment, I don't need anything extra features or such, but I'm happy to move to more official building of images.
I just pasted a link of an old project we had, the Ubuntu had for localized image, and we worked on that in the past. And if we can have the same thing now, it should be great.
Okay. All right. Rudy, how say you?
Yep.
Okay. Okay, other issues that are on the list, some of them I can help drive forward from local council perspective, some of them I can't. Official server, seed, what is being seeded for that, that's technically an issue for Ubuntu server team and foundations, so we need to refer that to them.
Where does the question of the server team come up?
That's on the pad, Daniel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, what is possible? Do we add language packs, customizing bookmarks, live session with the language pack? That's actually something probably...
Sorry, I just had a quick look at the pad, and the question seemed to be about the official server, so I think that's about the build machine on which the general ISOs are being built. So that has less to do with the server team.
Yeah, that would be doing a build D, doing a virtual server. That's probably something we would have to kick over to Colin Watson and... Oh wait, does he still have... Colin did shift responsibility, so it'll be whoever has access to Nusicon. So
I think we can just send a mail to the Ubuntu Develop mailing list and take it from there.
Yeah, because that's going to have to go to Ubuntu Develop because we'd have to see about replication. We'll go from there. Also, multi-boot. Now, I do have to ask for clarification. Are we looking for 32/64-bit multi-boot disk? Are we looking for a different type of... What are we looking for in terms of a multi-boot? Are we looking for every flavor at once since we've broken the compact disk barrier? Are we looking for 32 and 64? What are we looking for specifically? Because that's a little bit unclear on the list. So, how say you? That's open for everyone.
So to answer your question, this ideas come from a long time in our mind, and we try to look in having an ISO with a lot of choice, since our script doesn't work for UEFI. So we try to look at a solution named multi-boot, or even we try to look into the solution called multi-system. All these solutions provide a way to install on one device or one a file, a way to boot a device to and let us the choice to have the 32 or 64 bytes, or maybe a flavor. So this idea just come naturally, but the most important is for us in the first point to have at least one solution to boot any device for at least the official LoCo ISO. If we can do more, it can be better. So we can have we can give to our visitor in event some device with a lot of preloaded choice. So it can be better for us and our user. I don't know if I answered right the question, and if you can hear my accent.
No problem. No problem. Does anyone else have anything they want to chime in about? How do we feel about the advisability? That's something that is an engineering question that we would need to throw to ubuntu-devel and probably ubuntu-release and possibly techboard. And I'm sure that will engender a very lively debate. But how does everyone else feel about that? If you had the amount of media consolidated to, because we've already broken the CD limit, and I know commercially right now, if I was to go to a local store, I cannot get a 1 gigabyte USB key. I think the smallest I can get is 4 to 8 gigabytes.
I'm not sure if this is an issue in general. I think we answered this with the ordinary Ubuntu CD builds already, so I think that should be fine.
All right, so
I'm not quite sure how to respond to the issues Rudy mentioned. Yeah, it's a problem. We don't have experts on that in here. No. But maybe it would help to bring it up on the local mailing list to see just how the other teams are dealing with it, or because I could imagine that's where most of the folks are who build ISOs all the time.
Well, at its core, it's going to be just a survey. What material are you distributing? What installation collateral is going out? Are you distributing 32-bit? Are you distributing 64-bit? If so, how much? That's really, we can collect that as spreadsheet responses. That shouldn't take too long. And we can code that and analyze that.
Rudy, so you just wanted to say something?
Yeah. I just wanted to answer, but you said it will be better to put this in survey. So
No. Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
For example, we burn 10,000 DVD with Ubuntu, so there is a loss of space because there is only one ISO, and the 10,000 it was just for the LTS. So we have also 2,000 for every inter-release, and we also have a USB key we sell at our event to give us some fun to build events. And but there is a lot of space. So it's if we can put a lot of choice on the device, I think it can be better for the users if he can choose.
All right. Off the top of my head, and I really do need to look at how this is done, I vaguely remember Alan Pope creating a setup with a USB key, putting grub on the key, and you could boot multiple images from the key. So that is something that could exist. I have to look and see where he referenced doing that. So that will be a personal item, if someone could write that down. From there, I see we have Vincent Gilbert with us. I do think we do need to see how much of each sort of installation media we are distributing, because that would help gauge this, what is most important to distribute. If we don't need to make a multi-boot piece of collateral, we don't have to, but we need to see some numbers. What are we distributing? Rudy, yo boy, Vincent, are there any numbers that are kept by the French community as to what you have distributed of each type? And it's okay to say no, and we can work on that. We can think of something during this cycle and measure that for 1504.
We have distributed more or less the same quantity of 32 bytes and 54.
Okay.
There is no really a different number because when we add the DVD, we sell both DVD to each people. There is no difference. They buy two DVDs, not just one.
Okay. So that's how we avoid that issue there.
Yes.
Okay. That
Yes,
works.
That was to be sure it works when they go back at home. Yeah,
Okay.
because most people in our event are not technical, so they don't know. They just pick the boss. It's €1, they pick the boss.
All right. And doing a multi-boot scenario would help you consolidate the use of resources and get more done. So I understand that perspective. So that's something we can consider. All right. From the pad, we've got that. I need to add that. All right. We've got a lot of time. What other issues arise? So what other issues do you feel need to be addressed at this time with respect to this issue overall? So we're looking at ISO localization, we're looking at distribution. There was a question that was put in the initial email stream about, can we get server space to do this? And does anyone want to speak to that right now?
To me, it looks like we need to start a conversation about this on the develop mailing list, where most of the people are who build ISOs all the time. And if we could also have a conversation in general with local teams to see what their solutions are, I think that would help as well. I just don't know how to respond to the other issues right now. It's a bit hard without having somebody whose area of expertise this is.
Okay. I will say, Daniel, that I don't actually have posting privileges for ubuntu-devel, so I'm going to ask if you can take a work item for that.
It's no problem.
Yeah, because I don't actually have hosting privileges there.
Sure.
So the main issues would be, if we can break them down, one, subject to local council figuring out with a survey of all the various hacks out there what needs to be done for Ubuntu defaults builder and the undergirding live build system from Debian, what needs to be done to get signed kernel support taken care of. Last person who did something on that was Sebastian Bacher. I think Harold Sitter also did something from Ubuntu Realm. So they were some of the last two that were hacking on the package. That's one of the first issues. Local council itself needs to address how many hacked up scripts are out there, how many tools exist. We can do that. Ooh, there's a chat message. And the third issue is, when it comes to localization, this will have to start on Ubuntu Devel, and it may be a cross-cutting issue that goes local council tech board and who knows who else. Where do we want localized images promoted and available for download? Because we already have the mirror infrastructure that does exist, but where do localized images fit into that mix, and where do we want them built? So those would be the three main issues that I see that are going to require attention elsewhere. So does anyone else have something to add to that? And Vincent, you have an excellent profile image there, I will say. All right. And I do see we have the chat note that we have few volunteers. Partly that's due to the tools, because these are some very complicated tools, and they do require a little bit of banging on to make sure they work. And they're not for the faint of heart. So that is something that can be addressed. And at least we have an Ubuntu-based wrapper around live build. Live build itself has a 60-some-odd page manual that's a little bit involved. So we have our own wrapper that helps to an extent. Even then, it needs a little bit of work. So,
do we have any other topics we can discuss right now? Stuff which we're not going to take to the mailing list? Because to me, it looks like we're going to need more input from others. Anything else?
Yeah, I wasn't expecting us to get final resolution, but at least we've got this on record, and we've got this in a form that we can move forward with. So,
I don't know. Anything else from you guys? Because then we can probably wrap it up early.
I said, as said Stefan, it's good to record this need, because I think it's a really need to have an ISO which is bootable, and just the multi-boot is just a lux. But if we can have something that works, it's just be good.
Yeah. All right. So with that all in mind, okay, Daniel, do you want to recap the work items real quick that we do have listed, make sure we have them allocated?
Sure. So far we have 2 listed on the pad. One for the local council to find out from the local teams which tools are being used to generate ISOs and which changes are being made to the specific ISOs of the teams. And then also another one about starting a conversation about agreeing on common tools and starting to document the common workflow. Somebody just noted down an item for me to mail Ubuntu Devel. I'm not quite sure.
I missed what you were discussing about that. Steven doesn't have rights to post there, so was there something that needs to be applied at the moment?
Yeah, I don't have rights to post to Ubuntu Devel.
Yeah, that's no problem.
I did post. I did post, and you just have to wait that the admin valid your post.
Yeah, just if you have anything you want discussed on the Ubuntu Devel mailing list, just send it there, and it's going to get moderated.
Or if Timo, you want to drive that discussion on Ubuntu Devel, that would be great. Because local council does have we're up to 7 work items.
I think it helps if people send the emails who are actually facing the problems. So
yeah,
so that might help. But
yeah,
send it there and let me know if it should be stuck in moderation, and we'll get it through.
All right.
I
So
will do a bit of cleanup of my hack, and if anyone wants to try their luck with that, I'm happy to consult on running those commands.
all right. All right. So let's put down. Okay. So we'll also add Timo for. We'll get some translational work done because I've looked at the script. I don't speak Finnish. Granted, I'm in Ashtabula, Ohio, and there's the Finnish American Cultural Center just a short drive away. I'm sure I could walk in and get someone to translate it for me, but we will need to work on translational efforts there. But that's one thing we can do. So would you like to take a work item for that, Timo?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Brilliant. All right. Anything else we missed?
I think we are good.
We have what? Sorry?
Yeah, I think we are done, probably.
Okay.
Timo, what's your Launchpad username?
It's exactly that. That's now in the work item. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, because I'm actually updating the blueprint.
All right.
All right. There we go.
Then thanks a lot, everyone.
Thank you all. I do appreciate you coming.
Thank you.
I will be reporting to LoCo Council on all of this at our next meeting, which will be on Tuesday at the normal time. So there is an agenda item that's listed. If you have any further issues or discussion that you wish to bring up, please bring that to our IRC meeting, and we will do what we can. And I know right now I'm the only member of local council floating around sessions, but this is an issue that we like to support. So again, if you have any issues, please bring it before the council at our next regular meeting, and we will do what we can to address it. Thank you all for attending. I do appreciate it greatly, and I do appreciate this being driven forward. Thank you, and we're done.
Thank you, Stefan.
Bye.
And